What I'm about to tell you could be some of the reasons why you may be finding it difficult to find joy in life. So many of us struggle to put ourselves first, often because we're taught from a really young age that it's really selfish or vain to focus on our own needs. So we're socialized to prioritize others, whether it's our families, our partners, or our friends. But when we neglect our own needs, we can end up feeling just burnt out, resentful, unfulfilled. And most likely, you're feeling like you're just drowning in a sea of responsibilities and absolutely no one is throwing you a lifeline. When we don't prioritize ourselves, then we start to become disconnected from our own desires, our own values, our own goals, and our thoughts begin to take over with feelings of guilt. Now, I go into how this impacts your brain and how you can master your thoughts in a previous video I did called Master Your Mind, Change Your Life, and I've linked it below. So go watch that after this for a deeper dive. We might also struggle with feelings of shame for saying no and prioritizing ourselves. We might also feel like we're being lazy or selfish, or that we're taking something away from someone else because we're prioritizing ourselves. But the truth is when you prioritize yourself, you become better friend, a better partner, better to your family members. You become more patient, more compassionate, more present in the moment. Another common struggle is that we often prioritize everyone else's needs because we're afraid of being rejected or abandoned. We might think that if we put ourselves first, other people around us won't love us. They'll leave us. The truth is when we prioritize ourselves, we're actually going to attract people who respect and value us for who we are. So if there are those around you that leave you or won't love you anymore, that's something you need to think about. We also build stronger, healthier relationships that are based on mutual respect and trust. So how do we cultivate self-love in our daily lives? Because that's ultimately what I'm talking about. Take a few minutes each day to do something that nourishes your mind, your body, and your soul. It could be as simple for you as taking a warm bath. It could be reading a book, practicing yoga. It's all going to be different for everybody else. Make self-care non-negotiable. Another strategy is to practice mindfulness, self-compassion towards self. Love self. When we're kind to ourselves, we actually start to break down a lot of that negative self-talk and self-doubt that can hold us back. And most of us have that. Think about when the last time it was you actually looked in the mirror and told yourself you love yourself. I know it sounds weird, cheesy, but trust me, it's absolutely will change your life. Setting boundaries is another crucial way to cultivate self-love. So you got to say no. You got to say no to things that drain your energy and yes to things that nourish your soul. Communicate your needs clearly and assertively without apology or explanation. You don't have to be rude or disrespectful. You just say no. And remember, you're not selfish for wanting to take care of yourself. It's just necessary. It's not an option. When we prioritize ourselves, we become more intentional. We become more purposeful in our lives. We start to pursue our passions and our dreams with confidence and clarity. Now, my own journey with self-love has been absolutely transformative for me because I was the yes person. I wanted to please everyone around me. I overcommitted. I just said yes to everybody but myself. Until one day I just couldn't say yes because I was so exhausted, and I realized that I was sacrificing my own needs and desires in the process of fulfilling everyone else's. And when I started to prioritize myself, I felt like I could breathe again. I felt more grounded, more confident, just felt like I was also starting for the first time to actually live. And guess what? As a result, I started pursuing my passions. I attracted people around me who supported and encouraged me along the way. And for me, I have to add this in because self-love is also about embracing your own imperfections, your own weird quirks, celebrating your own uniqueness. It's about honoring your desires and needs, even when they're not aligned with others or what others think you should be doing. And that's such a big thing because especially if you have people around you and you're making these changes make people nervous. They don't know what's happening and they begin to hold on to the way that you used to be and talk about that. Well, you used to do this and you used to do that. And it's almost like they don't want to let you evolve and change. But you just have to remember that it's about your evolution and you being kind to yourself. Even if you're making mistakes or falling short along the way, when you're practicing self-love, you start to peel back layers of self-doubt, negativity. And what you're doing, and it can be hard sometimes, but what you're doing is revealing your true self. So, this is an honest conversation today, and you may be asking yourself, well, what can I take away from this conversation other than, okay, so I need to do this, but how do I do this? Or why should I do this? Well, prioritizing yourself, the first thing I'll tell you is not selfish. It's necessary. You need to cultivate self-love. I don't know if you want to practice mindfulness. You definitely need to set boundaries, and you definitely need to start pursuing your passions with purpose and intention. And do not be afraid to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. I continue to make mistakes. But I remind myself, and I'm reminding you, that you're worthy of love and respect. But it starts with you. Thanks for tuning in today. And if you're looking for more self-tips on self-care, be sure to check out my next video on some techniques while I'll dive a little bit deeper and I'll talk about how it changes your brain structure a bit. In the meantime, until the next video, please take care of yourself. I'll see you then.